If you're over 60 right now, I want you to hear something important. The next 20 years of your life are not decided by your age. They're not decided by your doctor. They're decided by 7 quiet choices you make every single day. And most people are getting at least 3 of them completely wrong. Today, I'm going to walk you through each one, not to scare you, not to lecture you, but because you've already done the hard work of living. You've survived things younger people can't even imagine. You've earned the right to live these years in comfort, but comfort doesn't arrive on its own. It arrives when you stop doing the things that quietly steal it from you. Let's begin, and please stay until the end, because the last mistake on this list is the one almost nobody talks about, and honestly, it might be the most important one of all. Mistake number 1, carrying worries that were never yours to carry. Here's something I've noticed about people over 60. They worry more about their children's lives than their own, their son's job, their daughter's marriage, their grandchild's school. They lie awake at night solving problems that belong to someone else. And here's what that worry actually does. It raises your blood pressure while you sleep. It tightens your chest during breakfast. It turns a peaceful morning into a storm inside your head, all for something you cannot control. Think about this for a moment. Has any worry you carried at 3 a.m. ever actually solved the problem by morning? You raised your children. You gave them everything you could. Now, the most powerful thing you can offer them isn't your anxiety. It's your calm. Your peace becomes their permission to stop worrying about you. That's the real gift. So tonight, when a worry knocks on your door, try something. Acknowledge it, then let it pass like a cloud. You don't have to chase every cloud across the sky. Mistake number 2, arguing about things that won't matter next week. After 60, something strange happens. We start believing that because we've lived longer, we must be right more often. And maybe we are, but being right and being at peace rarely live in the same house. I want you to think about the last argument you had with someone you love. Maybe it was about politics, maybe about how they raised their children, maybe about something so small you can barely remember it now. Now ask yourself this, did winning that argument bring you closer to them, or did it create a silence that lasted longer than it should have? This is where things quietly go wrong. We trade warmth for pride, we trade laughter for proving a point, and slowly the people we love start calling less, visiting less, sharing less. A 71-year-old woman I know once told me something that changed how I see this. She said, I spent 2 years correcting my daughter-in-law. Then one Thanksgiving, she didn't come, and the house felt so empty that I couldn't even eat. She didn't lose that relationship because of one big fight. She lost it one correction at a time. After 60, your voice matters, but your silence is sometimes even more powerful. Choose your battles carefully. Most of them aren't worth the price. If you're still watching and this feels familiar, just type 2 in the comments. Nothing else. Just 2. I'd love to know you're here. Mistake number 3, making your children's life your entire life. This one is painful to hear, but it needs to be said with love. Many parents over 60 have completely erased themselves. Their entire day revolves around their children and grandchildren. Every decision, every plan, every thought begins with, what do the kids need? And on the surface, that looks like love. But underneath, something dangerous is happening. You're disappearing, your hobbies are gone, your friendships have faded. Your own health takes the back seat because you're too busy driving everyone else's life. Here's something most people don't realize. When you lose yourself in your children's lives, you don't become more loved. You become more taken for granted. Not because your children are bad people, but because you've trained them to see you as a function instead of a person. The most respected grandparents I've ever seen are the ones who have their own life. They walk in the morning, they read, they meet friends. They have stories that don't begin with, my grandson did this. Your children don't need you to be their servant. They need you to be their example. Show them what a well-lived life looks like at 70, and they'll carry that image forever. Mistake number 4, trusting everyone with your private life. After 60, loneliness sometimes pushes people to talk, to share too much with people who haven't earned that trust. You tell a neighbor about your savings. You mention a family disagreement to a friend at the park. You share your health concerns with someone you've only known for a few months. And here's what happens. Your words travel, they get twisted, they reach ears that were never meant to hear them. And suddenly people know things about your life that you never intended to share. Most seniors are surprised when they learn this, but the people who gossip about others to you will gossip about you to others. That's not friendship, that's information exchange disguised as caring. After 60, your circle should be small, not because you're antisocial, but because peace requires protection. Guard your personal matters the way you guard your front door. Not everyone who knocks deserves to come inside. There's a quiet power in being the person who listens more than they speak. People respect it. And more importantly, your mind stays lighter when your problems aren't floating around the neighborhood. If this part makes sense to you, type 4 below. Just the number. That's all. Mistake number 5. Saying yes when your body and mind are begging you to say no. This is the one that surprises people. Because saying yes feels like kindness. It feels like being a good person. But after 60, every yes costs something. Energy, time, sometimes health. You agree to babysit when your knees are aching. You lend money when your own savings are shrinking. You take on responsibilities at the community center because nobody else volunteered. And at the end of the day, you sit alone in your chair, completely drained, wondering why nobody ever asks how you're doing. Here's the truth that took me a long time to understand. The people who always say yes are not the most loved. They're the most used. And the saddest part is they don't realize it until their body forces them to stop. You've spent decades being available for everyone. Now it's time to be available for yourself first. Not out of selfishness, out of survival. A simple "not today" is not rude. It's one of the most honest and healthy sentences a person over 60 can learn to say. Mistake number 6. Measuring your life against someone else's. She has a bigger house. His children visit more often. They travel every year. She looks healthier than me. Comparison after 60 is especially cruel because you're not comparing futures anymore. You're comparing entire lifetimes. And that weight is too heavy for anyone to carry. But here's what comparison hides from you. The woman with the bigger house might cry herself to sleep. The man whose children visit often might feel like they only come out of obligation. You never see the full picture. You only see the frame they've chosen to show you. Your life has its own rhythm, its own beauty. And the moment you stop looking sideways, you'll finally see what's right in front of you. A warm bed, a quiet morning, the ability to walk outside and feel the sun. These are not small things. For millions of people, these are impossible dreams. Gratitude isn't just a nice word. It's a daily practice that protects your happiness from the poison of comparison. Mistake number 7. Forgetting that your happiness still matters. This is the one nobody talks about, and it's the one that breaks my heart the most. Somewhere after 60, many people quietly decide that happiness is no longer for them. They stop doing what they love. They stop laughing freely. They convince themselves that joy belongs to the young, and that their role now is simply to wait. But waiting is not living, and you did not survive 60 years of life just to spend the next 20 sitting in silence, watching the clock. A 78-year-old man I spoke with recently had stopped playing the harmonica, something he'd loved since he was 14. When I asked him why, he said, "Who wants to hear an old man play?" I asked him one question back. "Do you want to hear yourself play?" His eyes changed. He picked it up the next week, and his granddaughter recorded him playing and put it on the internet. Thousands of people listened. Your joy is not irrelevant, it's magnetic. When you allow yourself to feel happy, you give everyone around you permission to feel the same. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you that your happiness has an expiration date. It doesn't. Before I let you go, I want to say this. The years between 60 and 80 are not a slow ending. They are a second beginning, but only if you choose to protect your peace, guard your energy, and stop giving your life away to habits that no longer serve you. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just start with one mistake from this list, the one that hit closest to home. Work on that one. The rest will follow naturally. And if this video gave you even one moment of reflection, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which mistake you've been making, or simply share one thing you plan to do differently starting tomorrow. I read every comment, and your words might be exactly what someone else needed to hear today. If you'd like more videos like this, you know what to do. I'll be here. Same voice, same pace, always on your side. Take care of yourself. You've earned it.